Once upon a time, in a bustling town, there lived a merchant who earned a living by selling salt. He had a wife and 2 sons. His elder son was shy and often hesitant to speak to others, while his younger son was confident and outgoing. People often thought of the elder son as foolish because of his reserved nature. Many took advantage of his innocence, but he never complained. The merchant was frequently frustrated with his elder son's timidity and would often scold him harshly. However, this only worsened the boy's self-esteem. As the elder son grew up, his lack of confidence began to affect his education. During exams, fear held him back from answering questions, and he struggled to learn. When he became a young man, his father asked him to help with the family business. Afraid of disappointing his father, he agreed, but his nervousness led to mistakes, only making his father angrier. One day, while the merchant was away, some deceitful men came to the shop, claiming that the merchant had sent them to take all the salt sacks to the city. The young man hesitated to question them, and before he could act, they took all the goods. When his father returned to find the shop empty, he was furious. "You fool! You let them steal everything. You have caused me great loss. Get out of my sight and never return." Devastated, the young man wandered to the riverbank, overwhelmed with shame. He thought to himself, "There is no point in living anymore. I will always be a failure." Just as he was about to jump into the river, a young disciple passing by saw him and pulled him back to safety. The young man angrily asked, "Why did you save me? My life is useless. I cannot do anything right." The disciple gently replied, "Life is given only once. If you are alive, you can overcome failure and find success. But if you give up, you will never know what you were truly capable of. Create a young man." The young man shared his sorrows, saying, "I am shy and weak. My father hates me. I have no education, and people call me a fool. Does someone like me even deserve to live?" The disciple smiled and said, "My teacher can answer your question. Come with me." At first the young man refused, but after much persuasion he followed the disciple to his master's ashram. There, under a large tree, sat a great saint deep in meditation. The disciple and the young man bowed before him. Upon seeing the saint, the young man broke into tears. Feeling lost, he wandered to the riverbank, overwhelmed with shame. As he stood at the edge, contemplating giving up, a young disciple passing by saw him and pulled him back to safety. The young man, angry and desperate, asked, "Why did you save me?" "My life is worthless. I can't do anything right." The disciple smiled kindly and said, "Life is given only once. As long as you are alive, you have the chance to overcome failure and find success. But if you give up, you will never know what you're truly capable of." On the second day, the saint said, "Today, you must teach 10 young students about the importance of water." The young man protested, "I have no education. How can I teach?" The saint smiled and said, "Just share what you know." Nervously, the young man spoke in front of the students. His hands trembled, but he shared 5 important uses of water. By the end of the lesson, he felt more confident. The saint praised him, saying, "See, you are braver than you think." On the third day, the saint gave him the most challenging task. Visit your father and ask for his forgiveness. Terrified, the young man said, "No, he will never forgive me." The saint replied, "If you refuse, I will not give you the final solution." Summoning all his courage, the young man returned home. He humbly apologized to his father, promising to prove his worth. Seeing the change in his son, the merchant forgave him and gave him another chance in the family business. When the young man returned to the saint and asked for the secret to success, the saint smiled. "You have already discovered it yourself. Your biggest enemy was not your shyness,